really important. And my guess is this whole space is going to move massively. I think that nexus of culture, online community, digital states, and NFTs is going to be enormously powerful in this next run. And I think that, just going to the Ledger event in Paris and to a few other crypto events, there is something about this moment in time in that where you've got music artists, visual artists, you've got filmmakers, you've got technologists, you've got financial people, all coming together for this one movement. And it's magic. There's one degree of separation from everybody. It's a magic, special moment in time. And it reminds me of the 1990s in the UK. 1996 was probably the year that England became the dominant cultural force in the world. And that was bookended in 1996 by Oasis headlining Nebworth. Now, it was not all about Oasis, but Oasis and British music, Oasis, Blur, Pulp, and then the dance music phase that took over all of Ibiza with, Carl Cox and Fatboy Slim, and then also the chill out music that came again out of Ibiza, hybrid with the UK. Then we saw, all of the artists like Damien Hirst and Tracy Emin all coming out of the UK. Everything was happening in the UK at any one time. The whole financial world was in the UK pre the euro coming into play. It was the centre of everything, and you knew it. You felt it, smelt it. It was everywhere. And it was an utterly magic time. And it was probably bookended with Bowie, who is the biggest cultural icon, probably one of the biggest cultural icons of all time, headlining Glastonbury, the cultural UK iconic event. And again, incredible moment. Watch it online if you haven't seen it before. It was amazing. And then all of that age of innocence and hedonism that was going on crashed into the ground, into the recession of 2000, 2001, and then ended with 9/11 and the world changed. But that's where we are now, is that moment where everybody knows everybody. It's kind of the same moment that maybe was in 2015, 14, 13, with a lot of the guys building layer ones with Vitalik and then people like Brian Armstrong and all of these guys, Peter Smith, they were all early adopters, early people into the space, and they all knew each other. That's where we are in the NFT cultural thing. And I think it's magnificent to watch. So, just referring to my notes, because there's so much we went through. We explored NFTs in a lot of detail, and I got my friend Sergio Silva to interview people like ACK, Alpha Centauri Kid, and OSF from Wrecked Guy, two different ends of the market. Wrecked Guy being a cultural asset, all about getting wrecked, that liquidity cycle that goes on in crypto, and how people are still engaged. That's my Wrecked Guy behind me actually right now, is how people are still engaged in the space and how they laugh at the stories, the war stories, and how they understand that this is part of it. That's what Wrecked Guy is all about. Drinking the hopium in hoping that all of the good times are going to come back again. The other side was Alpha Centauri Kid, and that's more serious art. Great artists in the space, and that is this nexus we're seeing. We're seeing this community, PFPs, all sorts of stuff, crypto dick butts, and then we're seeing Beeple, ACK, and we're seeing people like Fuck Render, amazing artists, Xcopy, all incredible stuff. And this nexus of people coming together is pure magic. So I really enjoyed those conversations. One of the things I've been doing also is I've been buying NFTs. I've really got interested in this space. I love the art, I love the culture, I love the excitement, as I mentioned before. But I also think of them differently. So I've got a Bored Ape and a Punk and some other kind of benchmark pieces. And the reason being is these things are down 50% from their highs. And ETH is down, whatever it is, 70%. There's a bit of magic here, is these things are priced in ETH. So if ETH goes up and the price of my Punk stays the same, I get all of the gains in ETH. But if my Punk goes to the same high or a new all-time high, I can get a leverage upside. Now, what's the downside of my Punk? Is it 25% down from here? Maybe. But if ETH's going up, it's just a bit of a drag versus my ETH. I've got ETH in my portfolio, so I'm just using my ETH. Now, I don't do it to a lot of my portfolio, maybe 10% or so, just to, and it's not an exact number, I'm just guessing, is really I'm doing that for the sake of getting an extra kicker. And I also like the NFT space. I'm really interested in where it's going. And I like these assets. I like the story behind them. I like how they're playing out and what happens. I want to see what Yuga Labs does. I think it's great. So it gives me an extra kicker. It's like a call option on top of my ETH position, because I'm not getting rid of ETH because they're priced in ETH. A lot of people don't understand this, but really I get the ETH appreciation and I get potentially the NFT appreciation.